Oh, it's all set up. Time to play the music.
Mix. Select the one. Actually, right? Thanks for having. I try to see it. What?
Thank you. That's Blood Buzz Ohio by The National from the 2010 album High Violet. Welcome to the Shark Show. Welcome to the Shark Show. She Shells Shark Shows down by the Shark Shore. Thank you for joining. We have a real shark show tonight. Thank you for sharing the live and laughing at my jokes. We don't have anybody back. I lost everybody. You know, you have to restart the live. You say you'll be back in 15 minutes, and I'm sorry that it took me 45. I live in a very different world than other people, it seems like. I have no concept of time. Terrible at it. But I always want to be optimistic. Really should put up the. So on the night show, Jesus was booked, but still not here yet. You know, they keep making excuses. I keep talking to his agent. He's on his way. Hello, Caroline. Good to see you. Got Untucked Tag and Jeffro and Peg, the patriarchy. That sounds like that's your name, Peg the patriarchy. But it's Peg the patriarchy. Yeah, I'm doing okay. Doing okay. Trying to get a live stream going. I had a good one last night. Like, I had a bunch of guests. They were all, between you and me, they were out of their minds. Most of them. It was funny because each one seemed a little bit saner than the last, or like they would start out a certain way. The lack of comma after Peg is important. Exactly. But yeah, a lot of times you get the craziest ones at the very beginning. And that's what happened my last. I came up just a little bit ago and had a transphobe come by and restrict the live. I got flagged for harassment and bullying because they were harassing me. So, because I didn't want to engage with them on that topic. Let's see. We'll read some of the jokes from the monologue. I haven't written any new ones, so if you've heard some of these or all of these before, oh, why? Thank you for the Heart Me's, Philly Red, Peg the Patriarchy, Caroline, and then they go popular, and then 10 ice cream cones. That's very very sweet of you. Ha 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 ha. I will laugh like Is that how the Gold member laughed in that movie, the Austin Powers movie? He had a very strange like. Don't milk it too much. What did I milk? Is this a cow joke? Ice cream milk? Okay. Oh, the ice cream cone. Peck, I'm sorry. Part of my getting ready to go ritual, part of my ritual, my checklist is to Oh, hey, Silly Goose, good to see you. YouTube. Part of my checklist is to get to where I'm a little bit um yeah, you know. So thought I had a joke about Jesus coming back. Oh yeah, this one. I like this one because I thought of this all on my own. Another year has come and gone with no sign of Jesus' return. and it's worse than we ever knew. In human years, that's something like 2,000 years without a return, but in God's years, it's 730 million. I gotta work on that a little bit. Oh, I know what's wrong. There, that helped. That's why it didn't feel like the joke landed. Okay. We have a first guest. They have left. It was wonderful having you. Oh, guest is back. How's it going?
Hello.
Hello. What's your age and religion?
I'm 18. I'm Christian.
Cool. Hey, Egg Rolls, how you doing in the chat there? What do you want to talk about?
I have a question for you.
Sure. What is it?
It seems like in all of your videos, you only target Christianity, and I'm just like wondering why that is.
Oh, yeah. So, it's like when you are a content creator, you have to figure out what kind of a niche and what kind of audience you want to generate for. And so, like, I feel like I know Christianity very well. I was a Christian for a long time, and I think that it's really harmful to people. And so, like, my goal is to help people see the harm of it, and also to make a little bit of fun of it. But I have to basically, because I'm a content creator, it's really hard for me to branch out right now because I'm really new. So I have to kind of like focus and keep my content on the thing that I'm working on. Does that make sense?
Kind of no, because you just said you like to make fun of religion for like content, and I feel like that's really weird.
Why is that weird?
Because you're making fun of a group of people who believe in a God, and it's just really wrong to do that because you're like toppling on their belief.
Well, it's a harmful belief. It's not like this is for no reason.
How so?
Let's see. So Christianity teaches people to hate themselves without God. Let's see. It says that you're like worthless rags compared to God.
Can I? What verse is that? Sorry.
Sure. Let me find it really quick. Worthless rags Bible verse. Isaiah 64:6. Let me pull that up on the screen.
Thank you.
Oh yeah, no problem. Yeah, it's not. I have a lot of different reasons for doing this, but like for your particular question about, why is it all about this? It's because of the kind of content I have to kind of focus on right now. I have other stuff that I want to do. It's just like no one necessarily wants to see it. I'm not sure if they like me or if they like the content, so I'm working through that. So we have all become like one who is unclean, and all our righteous deeds are like a filthy cloth. We all fade like a leaf, and our iniquities like the wind take us away. I've heard a lot of Christians use this to say they are filthy rags.
So I don't think they're calling them filthy rags. I'm saying I kind of see it as they see themselves unworthy of God's like all-powerful, all-loving presence, and I feel like that's kind of worshiping the God that they believe in, not bringing themselves down. They're being humble about themselves. Like if you don't like say the greatest person comes up to you, you don't go like, "Oh, I'm so much better than you." Get down, get on your knees. Sorry, that was weird.
Why does it have to be one or the other? Why does it have to be I am less than you or I am better than you? Why can't it be that we are equal?
Well, you can't be equal to someone who's outside the material world, outside time, outside space. That's impossible.
Well,
you can't compare yourself.
You just described something that doesn't exist. Something that's outside and time and space. Everything. That's a thing that doesn't exist in reality.
In reality, in this time and space, in what we believe as reality. But how do you think like the world came to be? I just want to know.
So it seems like the best explanation right now is that there was a hot dense state of the entire everything in existence, and then something caused it to transition into what it is now, into like a long, big, rapid expansion, and then the world eventually formed but I don't see any I don't see any design or any kind of intention behind it. I don't know that there was a mind behind it. But yeah, that's how I think of it.
Yeah, I kind of agree with you on that sense. But so you believe in the Big Bang Theory?
Yes.
So you know who came up with the Big Bang Theory, right?
It was a Catholic person.
Yeah. So basically, their explanation of trying to prove Albert Einstein actually, because Albert Einstein was trying to prove that existence of God was false and not true, but he actually took a telescope and he could see that space is ever like always expanding. So that means like if you were to go back in time, it would eventually have a beginning, right? And that can't just come out of nowhere. We all know that things can't be caused from nothing.
Okay.
Like
so
how could
where do you believe the world came from?
Okay, yeah. So yeah, this makes sense. So I personally believe that this thing that caused the world can't be inside of space, right? Because if space is not like nothing can, like it's not everlasting, like it has everything has a beginning, everything has a cause, everything has a start to it. But so this thing that must world like like world that we know it has to be outside space and time. And I'm not saying like the Christianity God is completely like it doesn't say exactly him, but there has to be some kind of force that's made the world. And the only thing that's ever came close to that is the Holy Bible. And I don't know how they could have that type of science behind it, even though it was made in like
Well, okay, you've made
somewhere
you've made a
BC.
lot of claims, and it's going to be hard because like we're still kind of on the first one as to where the world came from. You said that it came from outside space and time. You think it came from a being, from a god. How did it
Yeah.
get made? Where did it come from? The material. What did it come from?
What did the material come from?
Yeah.
Well, if it has to have a start, God must have created that.
Okay.
Created
How did
them
he
first
out of
materials.
what?
What he made.
No, he made it out of what?
I don't know the chemicals or anything that was in the Big Bang in the beginning, but if he were to do that, he must have had to make that.
Was there anything before he made it?
No,
What did he make it out of?
I'm saying that he must
You don't
have
want to
made
say
it
the
out of
words.
something.
You don't want to say the words. You don't know how to say. You don't know how to phrase this because you earlier said that nothing can come that something can't come from nothing, but this
Yeah.
entails that God made it out of nothing. You don't know what it came from, so it's that same problem that you have with the Big Bang, which I haven't
but
had a
God
chance
isn't
to address
nothing.
any of the other stuff. Right, but so you're saying that it came out of God, that the universe came out of God? He made it out of himself?
I mean, his force. Yeah, we see God in this world. Everything beautiful here. So
Okay.
I wouldn't be surprised if he made it from
So-
himself.
Did everything have a beginning?
Yeah.
Did God?
No, because he's outside time and space.
Right,
And
so-
he's outside the material world.
This is where I take it to not be I don't take these arguments to be very sound, or I guess it would be, yeah, because I think they'd be valid but not sound arguments about whether God exists. Because every time we get to something, it's just a special plead where you have to say, oh, well, it's just that way because he's God. He has no beginning because he's God. He can create things out of nothing because he's God. And so it's always a special plead. Whereas if I were to say, like, my view of things is that the universe could be infinite and it doesn't have a start. And therefore I can just say, well, the universe that I actually know does exist, I see that, and I don't know that it has a beginning, so therefore it might actually not have been created. It might have always existed. I have no reason to believe another entity on top of it, right? Like that's Occam's razor. Like, don't add any more entities that you don't need to. So I know the universe is here. I don't know that I need a thing to tell me that it was created, and that just all of that stuff just makes God kind of go away.
Oh, sorry. What makes God go away?
If the universe was always here, then it doesn't need a creator, and there's no God.
But we know that it has to have a beginning because of the Big Bang Theory.
That's not what the Big Bang Theory posits. The Big Bang Theory posits that there was the universe was in a hot, dense state, and then it expanded.
But how did it expand from that? Where did the hot state come from?
I don't know. We don't know what was before that. We can't investigate it, so we don't know.
Yeah, so that doesn't really prove God false because you can't show that.
Right.
Like,
and you can't
information.
show that it wasn't always eternal, so it doesn't prove God true. It's a
But we
non-starter.
can because everything has a
Which part
beginning.
of the Big Bang Theory does not posit that there was a
everything in the
beginning. Every Christian thinks this, and it's just incorrect. It's not what the Big Bang Theory posits. It's what popular science posits, but it's not what the actual theory is about. The theory says that everything was in a hot, dense state, and then it expanded one day. We think right now that it might have been because of a quantum field that changed or something, but we don't know why. We don't know why they changed. It could be that was caused, but there's nothing to say that the universe is not eternal, and that there was no cause to it. I don't know. It's just and once you start adding on actually there's an all-powerful eternal being, you're going to need a lot more to add that on.
Okay, so how did that what caused the hot dense state to expand?
Don't know. It seems like it was
so
change
everything
in state
does
in the
have
quantum
a
field.
cause. But
I'm not saying that so the actual way the argument works is that all fucking everything that began to exist has a cause, right? And then you have to show that the universe began to exist. I don't know that the universe began to exist. I am kind of like 50-50. So like for me, this is not convincing. But let's say that we do grant you that there's a deity and they created the universe. And I think actually what they did was they have a bunch of billiard balls on a pool table, and they hit the cue ball into the billiard balls, and that was the Big Bang. And they've left for the day. They're gone. The bar closed, and we're just here on the pool table. What do you think?
Wait, you think that's what that is?
Why can't it be?
I mean, because it doesn't really make any sense.
In what sense?
Because how can you just do one thing and then everything set into place? That can't come to be, really.
Why not? They're gods.
Like you can't hit one thing, but what does that mean? They can't do one thing and then cause everything else to do this, make more things happen.
It's like, so imagine that they have a pool table of potentiality, and by hitting this cue ball, it hits the other cue balls and it creates a bunch of different potentialities that all spread out. And to them, it just looks like the pool ball is bouncing around, but to us, it's the universe occurring.
All right. I kind of get what you're saying. I think I get what you're saying, yeah.
It seems like it has just as much evidence as your claim of a deity that, did it intentionally.
Okay, yeah, I kind of get what you're saying, but so I'm still confused. Potentiality, what does that mean? What do you mean by that? Hitting the balls of potentiality?
It's all possible states. So it's all possible states are waiting to exist on this pool table of the deities, and when they hit it, they start creating the states that they become. I'm just kind of making up a thing. The analogy's not quite there. Pool tables are pretty deterministic in how they work. Oh, that's fair. But this is a deistic pool table, so it works differently. This is just an analogy. It's not really meant to align one-to-one with our physics because they're outside of time and space. Sorry, Stotsky, cooked.
Okay, yeah, I kind of get what you're saying. But then why do we I mean, I've kind of I don't really want to share the experience here, but I've felt God, and maybe if he just created the world and kind of let us out there, I feel like it's not really cool for you to say Christianity makes no sense, because I've known people who felt God, and I know people who've changed their lives because of finding God. I don't stop being friends with people because they're not Christians. Why
not?
But
is that not what your Jesus?
Sorry, you're cutting out.
I thought that's what Jesus wants.
For what?
For you to be divided amongst your family and friends if they are in disagreement with you. right?
That's not true.
Why is that not true?
No.
What scripture
Well,
does
it
it have
actually
that says
states-
that you should be closer to people that are not believers?
Well, it actually says to be all loving and to be like Jesus, and we see that Jesus doesn't give up on anybody, and
That's
we
not
also see that we.
That's just not
All right,
true.
I'll come back. I'll come back to that. Sorry, but you said something about. It actually says like, don't define. If say your mother and father, respect your mother and father. If they don't follow the same religion, practices, laws that, or like stuff like that you do, then you always stay with them. You always love them. Like, so that like debunks what you just said, but it creates distance because it actually brings people together. We actually also see that analogy with like the Tower of Babel too. Like pride separated them with language, but that's probably not true, right? Because like language can't come from like that, but like we will, yeah. So like it's all about the like what they're saying.
Yeah, so
Like it's
you said that Jesus doesn't give up on people. Jesus just doesn't even begin with
Yeah.
some people. So this is in what am I in? NIV? Hold on a second. I need the NRSV. NRSV is the one I prefer because it is the one that the scholars use, is my understanding. It seems close to the Greek and the Hebrew, like the intentions. So Jesus left that place and went away to the district of Tyre and Sidon. Just then a Canaanite woman from that region came out and started shouting, "Have mercy on me, Lord, son of David. My daughter is tormented by a demon." But he did not answer her at all. His disciples came and urged him, saying, "Send her away, for she keeps shouting after us." He answered, "I was sent only to the lost sheep of the house of Israel." This is him denying. But she came and knelt before him, saying, "Lord, help me." He answered, "It is not fair to take the children's food and throw it to the dogs." This is him insulting her. He's calling her a dog. She said, "Yes, Lord, yet even the dogs eat the crumbs that fall from their master's table." This is her acquiescing, submitting more to him, right? Admitting that she is a dog. This is her saying that she's lower than him. The thing that you said was good, I think.
Yeah.
Jesus answered her, "Woman, great is your faith. Let it be done for you as you wish." And her daughter was healed from that moment. So in this instance, Jesus didn't want to deal with her until she begged him, humbled herself in such a way that she let him insult her.
Well,
That's your
I
Jesus.
feel like he was waiting for her to confess her faith to him, like knowing that he like.
Why do you think
he
that?
didn't know that? Because can you scroll down a little bit?
This is where she first appears. We don't need to scroll down because she first appears saying, "Have mercy on me, Lord, son of David. My daughter is tormented by a demon." So why was that not sufficient? Her pleading and calling him Lord, that's not sufficient enough?
Well, he's all knowing, so he must have had a reason behind it. But if you scroll down, I could probably
He gives the reason.
like
He gives the reason right here.
So
he wasn't sent for her.
Yeah. That's probably the reason. But if you scroll down, then you can see. Can you scroll down a bit?
Sure.
Sorry.
Where to?
Okay, sorry. So once, yes, Lord, yet even the dogs eat crumbs that fall from their master. Then Jesus answered her, "Woman, great is your faith." She's submitting to her. She's submitting to him, which I kind of see as honorable. Like if you're facing someone. Then,
do you think if somebody denies you that you should plead with them, and if they insult you, you should agree with them? That's the example that Jesus is giving here, right?
Jesus says if you get slapped, turn your other cheek. So
right. So this is the kind of harm that this religion does to people. Let me see. I've got another verse here. 1 second. 33 to 38. "Whoever denies me before others, I will also deny before my Father in heaven. Do not think that I have come to bring peace to the earth, but I have come to bring I have not come to bring peace, but a sword. I have come to set a man against his father, a daughter against her mother, a daughter-in-law against her mother-in-law, and one's foes will be members of one's own household." So also speaking, Jesus says these things about like dividing. "Whoever loves father or mother more than me is not worthy of me. Whoever loves son or daughter is not worthy of me. And whoever does not take up the cross and follow worthy of me." So it's like, hate everybody, be divided for my sake. I have not come to bring peace but a sword. Like these are the teachings of your God. These are the teachings of your God.
It's not saying hate everyone and only love me. It's saying put me above everyone but still love everyone. Like
right. So
Of course,
he does
of
he does also actually say hate. Hate you have to hate your mother, your father, even your life itself to be his disciple.
So follow him to be his disciple. Yeah, like follow him.
No,
Me?
no, 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 no.
Can I see some? I haven't seen this.
26. Whoever comes to me and does not hate father and mother, wife and children, brothers and sisters, yes, and even life itself cannot be my disciple. So yes, the cop out for this is that you have to love Jesus more than everything else. But the way he describes it is harmful. The way he describes it is that you should hate everything in relation to him.
So why does nobody hate? So why do Christians, real Christians who actually follow the Bible, not like these false Christians that I always,
Wait,
but like
hold
why do
on.
real Christians?
Wouldn't real Christians hate?
No, why don't real Christians hate?
They do. I don't understand your question. They do exactly what
Like,
Jesus
if-
says here. Real Christians do what Jesus says here.
No, but they don't hate. They love.
So my partner's parents disowned him because he's trans. Because sitting in God's
Okay, so
space.
they're not real Christian.
Why?
They're not real
Why?
Christians because they
Show me
don't
the
follow
verse. Show me the
Bible.
verse that shows that they're doing the wrong thing. I can show you this verse right here that shows that they're doing the right thing.
Okay, but okay, sorry. What was your claim? Sorry.
Your God says to hate people when they do not agree with you. They say, whoever is not for me is against me. That's
So
my
how
claim.
does that mean to hate them? How does that mean to hate them?
A real Christian separates, divides, keeps people out of their life when they do not agree with what they say. That's a real Christian. That's what your doctrine teaches. I'd like you to show me the doctrine. I'd like to show me the scripture. Sorry, that shows that you should to be a true Christian, that you should be closer to people like that.
Sorry. What was that verse?
This verse is Luke 18:26. Right. Terrible Name had a good point that in that previous verse where it says, I have come to set a man against his father. This is very clearly causing division. This is not about like, that you're going to have disagreements. This is, I have come to do this. I've come to create this division, not peace, but he's dividing.
Right. Okay, yeah. Could you scroll down and find hate, the word hate, and search what that means? The original language that the Bible was written in, please. Well, the Old Testament.
Do you mean Greek? This is the New Testament where Jesus is speaking.
Oh, okay.
Let me see what I can find for this.
Here,
Greek. Bible. Is this what I want? Do I have to pay for this?
COMISEO.
Sorry, if you're off the app, we can't hear you. I'm not sure what you were saying. I think I caught the end of it.
Sorry, MIESO.
Sorry, you cut out. Am I what?
MIESO.
Oh, is the word?
Yeah.
Say,
Wait, sorry. I think
fundamental Greek verb meaning to hate, detest, or abhor. In biblical context, it often carries a nuanced sense of loving less, choosing between, or deliberately separating from something or someone in favor of something else. So this is just the apologetic, right? The actual word means to hate or abhor, but Christians say it means something else in the Bible. I don't know why I should take it to mean that it means something else in the Bible, but not other places.
What do you mean by that?
So my understanding is that this word means to hate, detest, abhor. And then Christians say, that's not how Jesus meant it. Like in the AI overview here, it says in biblical context, but it doesn't say why in biblical context it would mean this.
But that, what you showed me was one verse, but that doesn't show the whole Luke book, and we can interpret that that's what he meant in
Why should we interpret
that
it that
sense.
way?
Like,
Why should we interpret
if
it
you
that way
get-
though? Like what part of the
'Cause
what of the book should we should carry that?
what other book?
No, you're saying if we read the whole book, we'll understand it means something different. And I don't understand why.
Well, because Jesus teaches us to love.
Like when a dog.
Sorry, you cut out. Sorry.
Like when he called the woman a dog.
No, he used that analogy, but not specifically calling her a dog.
I'm sorry, what? He did call her a dog.
He literally used it. He used it as an analogy, like saying, "You don't give it to dogs," but that's not like
yeah,
specifically
it's a slur.
saying
It was a slur about her.
a slur.
Yeah, it was considered a slur of their people at that time. To call someone a dog. It was actually like a lap dog. Like an annoying dog. Like, I get it that it's a metaphor, that he doesn't think she's literally a dog, right? But it's about her being a dog. Like, because it's a metaphor does not make it less abhorrent. Let's talk more specifically about the harm that this religion does, right? Because I think that that's actually the problem here. Like, you're going to be unwilling to agree that Jesus is kind of a jerk. But I think the actual problem is that this religion creates, like, it makes robots out of people. It makes them submit to authority for no good reason. And then they do crazy things like hate people for no good reason. So that's the problem.
Then that's not a real Christian then.
How do you know?
Because search up all the verses that say to love.
Okay, now search up all the verses that we just found that say to hate. How do you know which one makes them a true Christian?
That says to. That doesn't mean to like.
The only
hate
criteria
them.
to be a Christian is to follow Christ. That's the criteria.
But you're reading it, not what it's actually saying. You're reading what it's saying, but you're not interpreting what it's.
Right, exactly. I'm reading the words on the page, right? I'm taking them at their word. I'm using the Mrs. Rademacher method. Have you heard of the Rademacher method?
No.
Yeah, so I had this like elementary school teacher, and she taught me how to read, and that I should when I read the words on the page, that they have meaning, and that I can understand the sentences when I put them together. I can understand what those meanings are. And so to me, when I read this, I see this seems very contrasty to what other things that Jesus says. Yes, Jesus does seem like gentle and nice in other areas or whatever. I think it just actually seems like he's a cult leader. Like when I see this kind of behavior in people, I see cult leader. When they say, you need to be kind to everyone and love everyone. And you know what? Also, I'm here to divide people, and you should hate your father and mother. Like, these are the kinds of things that a cult leader does. That's why they make no sense.
Can you search up why Jesus speaks in parables like these?
Search up sense, like why he says it. I know why he gives the reason he gives.
No, like why he speaks in this type of manner, like saying hate and stuff like that. And if you don't want to interpret it and just read it off of a page, can you like search up why he speaks in parables like these? Like that type of stuff, please? Or I can.
Can you like provide your point? I don't understand what I'm looking for. Like, that's such a broad question. I don't really know what I'm like. I don't want to do an internet search for a show. That doesn't make sense.
Right. Okay. So Jesus actually speaks in parables because he doesn't want those who don't have faith in him or just read it and then say, oh, it says this, so I'm never gonna believe. He wants to see so who people who do have faith in him can like actually read it and like stuff like that. I don't know how to word it. I'm sorry.
Right. So this is the apologetic. I understand what you're saying. And this is what Jesus says is the reason, right? That those with eyes will see and those with ears will hear. he's saying that that if you actually understand the book, like if you're actually a follower of his, then you will understand this differently. You'll have spiritual eyes, that the Holy Spirit will guide you, and you'll understand the words differently. And that's how you come to the conclusion that this doesn't mean to hate, but it means to love less. That's how you come to this ridiculous conclusion. I understand it. It doesn't make any sense in practice. It doesn't lead to anything good, right? Because what's going to happen is we can talk about like something else that Jesus did. Do you believe that Jesus is God, by the way?
I don't believe he is God the Father, but I believe he is God the Son.
But like their wills are the same, correct?
God and Jesus?
Yeah, the things that God has done, Jesus has done, essentially.
Well, I mean, not really, because like the Sermon on the Mountain changes what God said in the Old Testament, and like the Sermon on the Mountain fulfills what he said. So I don't like really see that.
Okay, so Jesus is a separate God than Yahweh.
No.
So they are one God, but their wills are different?
Well, you can, yeah. So, like nature and person. So they're all one nature, divine nature, and there's three persons in that one nature, but they all have 100% of that nature, and they're all the same nature, right? So,
this is actually one of the doesn't make sense parts. Like you're explaining it to me, but you understand how that doesn't actually make sense, right?
What do you mean?
You cannot have 300% of God. That doesn't make sense. They can't be all 100% God and also like Jesus is 100% man and 100% God. Like these things don't make sense.
They're 100% like filled with divine nature.
Does Jesus have any other nature than divine nature?
Yes, he does.
Then he's not 100% divine nature.
He's 100% divine nature and 100% human nature.
There you go. Nonsense. Complete and utter nonsense. And you just believe it because people told you to. You don't need to believe it. It just doesn't make sense. It's contradictory.
Well, I do believe it. So
I know you do. It's nonsense.
Really
this is the problem. But we're not getting to like the actual meat and potatoes of it.
All right. I'm not saying what you believe is nonsense. So please stop like bashing on me. So please. Because you've done it multiple times.
Your religion is harmful. Like, do you get that?
But I don't see it as that, because real Christians, like we've seen, give out food, give out church food and stuff like that. They
do you think real Christians enslaved people?
Probably.
Yeah. Are you a real Christian? Would you enslave someone?
Well, no, because I'm not in like the something BC, and I don't see that. And
I mean, we had it in America a few hundred years ago. You know that, right? You don't have to be. You don't have to be in before. You don't have to be in the before Common Era.
I know that. I know.
Right.
I know.
So, like, the only thing keeping you from it is our current law.
No. What? No.
I asked you why. If you're a true Christian, would you own slaves? You said true Christians own slaves.
Oh, I'm sorry. Wait, sorry. I don't. Sorry, what'd you say? I'm sorry. I wasn't really like.
So your God gave this law about owning people as property. And I want to know how you see this. Since you're a true Christian, what do you think of the verse? That your God that you worship, that's all good and all loving. What do you think of this? Did it not happen?
In the Old Testament?
It is in the Old Testament. Is that your God?
Then I won't follow that. Sorry.
I'm sorry, you denounce it?
Well, no, I'm saying I'll follow Jesus's fulfillment of those laws.
Uh-huh. So, do you denounce this then? It was evil, right? I mean, you're a good Christian, right? You don't do harmful things. You don't have harmful beliefs. You don't have harmful beliefs, and that's why you hold this religion and why I shouldn't nail it for this shit, because you don't believe slavery was ever good, right? That's not a thing that a true Christian would believe.
I sin. I'm not perfect.
Does that
I'm not saying I'm perfect.
So if we have slaves, it's a sin? What is the relevance?
No, those Christians aren't perfect. Like, nobody is.
God said you can have slaves. It's not imperfect to have slaves, is it?
Male and female slaves whom you have, whom you may acquire, male and female, you may
Oh,
also
yeah.
acquire.
I'm sorry. I thought you were familiar. As for the male and female slaves whom you have, it is from the
I
nations
was
around
reading
you
it,
may
fine.
acquire male and female slaves. You may also acquire them from among the aliens residing with you and from their families who are with you who have been born in your land. They may be your property. You may keep them as a possession for your children after you, for them to inherit as property. These you may treat as slaves, but as for your fellow Israelites, no one shall rule over the other with harshness. He sets them
Yeah,
apart.
I still wouldn't follow that because that's the Old Testament, and I don't really
I
follow
didn't
that.
ask you. I didn't ask you if you'd follow the law. I asked you if you would denounce it. If you'd say God did a really bad thing here. He set us back by doing this.
I mean, I'm not going to denounce God's word, and if He's all knowing, He must have knew that the outcome would have been the same. So the outcome would have been this.
So when the
And-
people enslaved people in the U.S. using these verses to do it, you think that outcome would have happened even if God had said no slavery?
No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying if He knew, He must have knew it, something would have happened. Like most people who didn't follow the law, most people who didn't follow the Bible still own slaves. So, like, what's your point?
My point is your God's a piece of shit. You worship a monster.
Why are you saying that? Like, you're being rude for no reason. I didn't come with any hostility towards you.
Are you in this conversation? You just apologized for slavery. You just said that there's a good reason for it.
So? I'm not saying there's a good reason for slavery.
Then why did your God condone it?
I don't know. I can't say.
But you won't denounce it. It must have been good, right? If your God did it?
Must have brought us to where we are today, where, like, we're free from slaves. We don't have any slaves here.
So when your God gave this law, right, was this good? Was this the best law? When the daughter of a priest profanes herself through prostitution, she profanes her father. She shall be burned to death. Your thoughts?
Yeah, that's still the Old Testament. I don't really care for that.
I agree. It's still the Old Testament. Your God's a monster, right? For doing this? Burning women alive? For sex. That's your God.
All right, well, I'm going to be honest. I mean, yeah, I kind of agree with you. That was pretty messed up.
Right. Why would you follow this?
I'm following Jesus and God, but
Same person. Why would you
they're all
follow
together.
that? Why
Yeah.
would you follow that? You're in a cult. It's monstrous. This
I'm
shit
not in a
exists.
cult.
This shit exists in here, and it makes people have bad beliefs. It makes people apologize for slavery. I've heard people apologize for this. I'm surprised you're not standing down on this. Or you are standing down on this, because usually people, oh, well, that was appropriate at that time to burn people alive for having sex. Because God can do no wrong. Your God is all good. Your God's all powerful. He can't do it any other way except for the right way. This was the right way at the time. He's not real.
huh?
If this was the right way to do this at that time, he is not real. This is not the right way to do something.
I'm sorry. I'm just like confused on what you're saying. I'm sorry.
It's been about 40 minutes, so I'm going to do a poll. I was supposed to do it at 30 minutes. We were getting so caught up in it. So I'm just going to poll happy face if you'd like to keep talking to the guests, or sad face if you'd like to move on. But yeah, my point is that I don't think that anyone should follow something that's rooted in something like this. It has
Yeah.
other issues in the New Testament as well, right? But I'm trying to show you the problems in this book because you keep telling me there are no issues, and you keep saying that I'm doing this for no good reason. There's good reasons. This is harmful to people to believe this.
Well, I also don't like see any good things in like different religions and stuff like that, but you don't say anything for that.
Christianity seems to be the dominant religion where I'm at. In fact, Christian nationalism is taking over. I have no really good reason to talk I'm not really familiar with that's not really affecting me.
Wait, how is like Christianity affecting you? Like, how is that like causing you like in America to like?
You haven't noticed, so like I'm a trans woman. You haven't noticed that the Christian right is continually attacking trans people for their beliefs in this God? Oh, I guess they left. The results are in. I think. I think it's still coming in on YouTube, but they left anyway. So, yeah, I think it's harmful that someone would say that hate can sometimes just mean love less. Um, oh, we got some no's on the chat or the wanting to keep the guest, but we got 75% yes on YouTube and 7 versus 2 yes on TikTok. Where's my thing? Mario is next. Hey, Crystal, good to see you. Hey, Mario, how are you doing tonight? Are you over 18 and are you a Christian?
Doing pretty good. I'm 26. I'm a Christian.
Awesome. What do you want to talk about?
I don't know. You want to speak to a Christian, right?
Yeah, just I think Christianity makes no sense. Are you able to make it make sense?
Well, I can share my testimony and tell you why it makes sense to me.
I guess if you want to do a testimony thing, try to make it very short. Like keep to like
Sure.
some headline news or something. Like probably doesn't have to be.
Yeah, I'll keep it brief. I used to be on the same boat as you. I used to think Christianity doesn't make sense. How does a guy 2,000 years ago has anything to do with me? I never understood what it meant. Jesus died for my sins. It never made sense. I thought going to church was boring. Every time I go to church, I would sleep. Like, it literally did not make sense to me. I'm with you on the same page when I wasn't a Christian. So, to get straight to the point, why I'm a Christian is because when I was in school, I was very poor. I had no money, no food, no water. So I did what any desperate person does. I turned to God. I asked God to help me, and He helped me. He provided for my needs, and I started looking into the Bible, and I realized what the Bible was saying. To me at least, was telling me the truth. The Bible says, "Anything you ask in my name shall be given to you. If you call upon my name, you'll never be thirsty." I just started seeing the Bible coming to life, and for me, when I studied the Bible, to me, I think the Bible does make sense, and I do believe I am in need of a Savior.
Okay, so you were not a Christian, and yet you turned to God, the Christian God specifically, and He somehow you did lied over the exact miracle that He did. So you were poor, hungry, thirsty, and then you turned to God, and then you didn't really say what happened. You just said something changed, and then you read the book. So like, can you explain why that is persuasive? What does that mean?
Oh, I wanted to keep it brief, but I can elaborate. So,
Well, if
yeah,
it's
when I call upon
miraculous,
the
then
name
you
of
should
the
talk about the actual miracles. I just didn't want to hear a lot of like stuff that's not related. A lot of times
Sure.
the testimonies are about like the specifics of how they were down and out or something.
Yeah, I got you. So when I call upon the name of the Lord, when I call Jesus, when I pray to Him, the next day somebody got me a slice of pizza. Somebody got me a drink. They introduced me to the church, but what the miracle was that not only does somebody provide it, but the miracle was from that day, March of 2021 till now, January 2026. I've never run out of food, money, and water. To me, that is a miracle because I come from a very poor background. I
Okay.
had nothing. So the fact that I'm still able to sustain even till today, it's a miracle.
Okay, so you not being poor is a miracle. I'm not persuaded, but that's an interesting take, I guess. Why would you follow? Why do you think it's this God helping you and not like some other deity that happened to hear your prayer and took pity on you anyway?
That's a great question. I started looking into that as well, seeing why the Christian God is the one true God. So I'm a very open-minded person. I try seeing if there's, if every religion is different, I'm sure there's some sort of truth value to each and every religion.
Why are you sure of that? Why would you think? I think they all seem very, I mean, like some truth value, I suppose,
Mhm.
but like most of them seem just like nonsense. They all seem like not real.
Well, That saying derived from a friend of mine. He's a Muslim. I told him, I really don't have anything in common with you because you're a Muslim. What can you have that, that's similar to what I have? But he says something interesting, which I hold value. He says, Mario, you and I may be different, but we're not so different in a way. And when he said that, I was like, what do you mean by that? So I started looking into the Quran, what he reads, and
Wait, he said we're not so different, you and I, and you just walked away and looked into the Quran? I call
Yeah, he
cap.
says
This didn't happen. Are you kidding me?
No, I'm serious. My friend is
Do you
Mercy,
live
that's
in
his
a
name.
high school music? Do you live in like some sort of a high school drama? Like, this is insane. Nobody talks that way.
Those are his words.
Okay. Look, this religion is dog shit. Why are you a Christian?
Well, I'm a Christian because of many things. The point I was trying to bring up to the religion is that, yes, every religion is different, but there's a similar factor. There's something unique about it, which is that every religion is different, but they acknowledge Yeshua. They acknowledge
No, they
God
don't.
in the flesh. They acknowledge Jesus.
No,
do,
they
actually,
don't.
matter of fact.
Not every religion acknowledges Jesus or Yeshua. What?
Can you name a religion?
Hinduism?
They acknowledge him.
They acknowledge Jesus?
They do.
In what sense?
They acknowledge him as one of the gods.
Do Buddhists acknowledge Jesus?
He does. He calls him a wise teacher.
This is fucking so stupid. Hey, Crystal. Crystal, are you there?
Hey, yeah, I'm sorry. I'm here, but there's background noise, so I'm muting. But I wanted to. Judaism does not recognize Jesus. Islam
They do.
only recognizes him as a. No, they do not. Please
They
don't
do.
tell me that. No, they do not.
Judaism is a practice of the Jews. back then.
Judaism does not recognize Jesus.
They do.
I can go. Would you like me to bring my friends up who are rabbis?
Sure.
You're such a lying piece of shit, dude. Are you really a Christian, Mario? Like, everything
Yes,
you
I'm
told me tonight, I
born again
feel like
Christian.
is a lie. Especially now that you're doing this nonsense and you're like, yeah, they do. Like, you're such a full. Nobody thinks that
No,
you're
I
smart for
kid you
this.
not.
I kid you
I'm not
not.
being smart.
I kid you not.
I would never imagine that I would be talking about Jesus, but here I am.
Yeah. Who would imagine you'd be full of shit? Yeah, he says that they recognize he existed, I guess. Do you think that what do you think the Jewish people
That's
think
still
of
acknowledging
Jesus?
him. They don't see him. They acknowledge him, but they don't see him as the Messiah.
Let me clarify for you that Jewish people are not a monolith. So there we go. Here is Rabbi Bert. He's going to tell you that some Jews recognize Jesus, some Jews do not. They are mythicists.
Are you
But
familiar
they
with
do
a
not.
Messianic Jew?
That's
You know
not a
what a
real
Messianic
Jew.
Jew is?
Hi, Rabbi
are-
Bert. How are you?
I'm well, thanks. Messianic Jews are called Christians.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, there's no such thing as a Messianic Jew. They're contradiction in terms.
I think the one thing that's fallacious about a Messianic Jew is the idea of a Jew practicing Judaism while following.
Oh, no,
the
I would like you to
Yeshua, the
explain to the
Messiah.
rabbi how Jews recognize Jesus, please. Tell the rabbi how Jews recognize Jesus, and all religions do.
And try to like
All
speak up and
religions
enunciate.
recognize Jesus.
Try to speak up and enunciate.
Sure. Well, what does the Bible convey about the Jews? Well, the Jews acknowledge Jesus because obviously they don't see him as the Messiah, but the one thing that the Bible does notate regarding Jesus is they do acknowledge that he is some sort of, teacher, but he's a false teacher. According to the Bible, they said that the Jews stole the body of Jesus and even told truth to that claim.
So
even
according to
today
the
in
Christian Bible.
2026.
What Bible?
What are you talking about?
What Bible verse says the Jews stole the body?
Yes, that's correct. The disciples specifically.
Yeah, but that's the Christian Bible. It's got nothing to do with the Hebrew Bible. Why would a Jew agree to anything that the Christian Bible says?
Well, I've talked to many of Jews. A lot of Jews hold truth to them.
I would love to know their names and their synagogues and whoever taught them this.
Are you a Jew?
Every day.
Okay. Do you think Jesus existed?
No
I'm
Bible verse
unconvinced.
that said Jews stole the body of Jesus. There is a Bible verse in
Yes,
Matthew
there is.
28,
It's in the
13.
back-
No, there's not. No,
It's in the
there's
book
not.
of
You want to
Matthew.
go think? No, it's not. It's Matthew
It is in the book of
28,
Matthew.
13. Matthew
Matthew
28,
27 says so.
Matthew 28. God, shut the fuck up, Mario. Matthew 28:13 says, "You are to say his disciples came by night and stole him away while we were asleep." No, it does not say Jews stole it.
But what would that mean? Why would that mean that Jews were involved? Like, I mean, why would that mean that Jews would subscribe to that though?
Sorry, someone muted me for no reason. Sorry.
I muted you for good reason.
What reason?
You wouldn't shut up.
Well, she's saying something regarding the book. I'm justifying it.
You're talking over her.
You're
You're such
wrong.
a fucking piece of shit, dude.
What did I lie about?
You said Matthew said that Jews stole the body of Jesus. It doesn't. It says you are to say his disciples came by night and stole him away
Yeah, who's
while we
speaking?
were asleep.
Who's speaking?
I don't care who's speaking. It doesn't say Jews. It says
Pharisees
his
are speaking.
disciples.
I think he's
Pharisees
implying
are-
that
Mario?
his disciples are Jewish. I mean, I think that's what his implication is, which is fine. But like, it doesn't matter because like
Why are you so mad, by the way?
who's mad?
Because you're lying.
There's a girl here.
You haven't seen Crystal.
I'm
mad
not a
yet.
girl. I'm a woman, you idiot.
Can you explain the difference?
Yes, I'm a woman. You not know what an adult is?
Can you explain the difference?
You don't know the difference between a girl and a woman? That is terrifying.
That's
No,
terrifying.
educate
You should not be allowed on the fucking internet.
Educate me.
What is an adult?
Yeah, I dropped him. He's a bad troll. He's no longer entertaining.
So
I'm
weird.
sorry. I'm sorry, Sarah.
I appreciate you all coming up. I did not want
I'm
to.
sorry.
I don't know enough about the history of things, but I'm like, this is just not true. Like, it's so clearly not true, whatever he's saying.
It was so not true.
You're welcome to call on me if I can help. Nice to meet you. I think I was listening to your live earlier.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I've seen you around. You're
Yeah.
great. You're great on panels.
Oh, thank you.
It's Bert, right? Is that
That's right. That's right.
cool?
Yeah.
I'm Sarah.
Good memory.
Nice to meet you. Well, I think Crystal just
Good
said
to
it.
Oh, okay.
But I don't know if I would have remembered otherwise. Y'all are welcome to hang out if you want. I don't have any other guests right now, but you're also welcome to go if you want. Yeah, turn from funny idiot to sketchy really quick. I agree. That's a PDF for sure. Yeah, I think he wanted to like try to turn it into a trans debate. That's my guess, is that he thought if we can talk about the definition of woman, it could be like his own little. But he didn't understand what he was asking. The
So let
difference
me
between a woman and a
explain
girl
actually
is
what's
different.
happening. I know. Let me explain what's actually happening in Matthew here. What's happening is Matthew is saying the priest devised a story as to what happened to the body instead of having it resurrect. Nowhere is it claiming that Jews stole the body. It is saying that the priests are pretending that the disciples stole the body so they won't have to say that he resurrected. You know, they don't want to admit that. I'm gonna drop down though for you because I
Okay.
think you'll have better conversations without me. I love you.
Thanks, Crystal.
I actually have to go also. Thanks for having
Thanks,
me.
Bert. Thank you for coming up. It's
Take
great.
care. Yep. Good luck. Bye bye.
Thank you.
Come on, kick me. Yeah.
They always want to mansplain what a woman is. Agreed. Thank you, Succubussy. Good to see you. I don't think I had a chance to talk to you. Why do I just get trolls? I really want to do better. I want to like. Maybe I need a different background. Usually they don't get mad about the background. Like they don't want to like argue about definitions. Lately that's all Christians want to do lately. It's so frustrating. Hey Sailor Curls. They're all like, what do you mean by makes sense? Makes no sense. What do you mean by Christianity? What do you mean by Jesus? It's a boring night. We've got 6 viewers over on the Tubes, and I don't think I've seen any on Twitch today. 14 viewers in TikToks. That guy totally went to the train school Mezzo spoke about earlier. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know if maybe there was like a rapture. Hello, Chad. Such slim pickings since the New Year's. I feel like that that would actually be more believable to me. It would be more believable to me that Christianity is true, but we don't see the effects of it anymore because Jesus missed Stephen Miller and Kenneth Copeland. Not true Christians, I guess. But like if the rapture's already happened at some point a long time ago and we're all in hell or left over or something, I'm not sure what it entails. That seems more likely than this being real and that Jesus is still coming back. Thanks, Zip Zop. And Lathe of Heaven for the Heart Me's and Miko for the Rose. Egg rolls for the Heart Me and they go popular. Preterist. Yeah, that's what that one guy was talking about the other day. But it's like, I don't think that you could look at the Bible to determine this. Like, I would take it to be not that, Jesus returned in some timeline of ours, but that this is a different place entirely. And that the things that happen in this book are a representation of what really happened before. But it doesn't make any sense still. Maybe that's why it doesn't make sense, because like we're in hell. I don't know. Let's see. I don't know if I have any other backgrounds. Like I could change background maybe and I haven't done a lot of the set backgrounds yet, but what if it was true, but then people just started lying and adding shit to the book and Jesus said, fuck that shit, I'm out. Yeah. Yeah. What if it was true and we have no idea what's real and what's not in there? This is a huge issue for this stupid, for this religion. This gets people. We need a thing to hide for the chat, huh? Because it's hard to. Let me change to my other scene that has that thing. Okay, Christians, it's time to leave the cult. Tahir, hello. Hi, Jacob. It is time to leave the cult. I'm here to help you leave it. I had a late start today as well. Today was just off. Off and awful. I I woke up pretty early, but then I got tired and I went to sleep at like 8 o'clock and I slept like noon. I feel like yesterday I did this and it just was like popping. I had a lot of guests and people came by. Let's see. All the news is really bad. Only Jacob for now. Thank the atheisms. So, for any Christians that might be randomly here, I guess, I take a cult to be the veneration, a system of religious veneration of a deity or a figure or object, I think is what it is. And there are other definitions, but I think it's easier to talk about the outcomes and practices, and why they may or may not be a cult. For instance, some examples of things that might be found in a cult. Things that control behavior, like regulating an individual's physical reality. Maybe you believe in a spiritual world, or that there are demons, or that you can like pray and things will happen. That's that's regulating your physical reality in some way, right? Wow, thank you for the gold blocksling gloves. Dictate where, how, and with whom the member lives and associates or isolates. This is a big one. Depending on what that you're in, some cults are very strict about it. I think JWs have like an actual shunning practice. Most Christian cults kind of do it in a cutting you out slowly sort of way. But that happens a lot, and it's often known the kind of company you can keep to not get that kind of shunning. When, how, and with whom the member has sex. That's a big one in Christianity, right? They're really big on how much sex you get to have, who you're doing it with. I don't think that it's necessary to have so many restrictions just to make sure that people understand how monogamy works. Like I'm not monogamous. I'm polyamorous, but I understand the concept of it, and I think it's actually like the way that Christianity teaches you how to live doesn't give you any good reasons or any like real ways to like how do I put this? Like I was married just because I was married, right? Just because it was a thing that I had to do. We have a guest.
Howdy, howdy, howdy.
Hey, how's it going, Fawcett?
29 Nevada for TikTok. Just wanted to put that out there.
Okay.
Just I have a question, and I need to see what your it says atheist here. That's why I had to do the hashtag. The question I have for you is, if God doesn't exist, right? Or are you since it is atheist, God doesn't exist. By what measure do you then? How do we know everyone's worthy of human rights?
Oh, okay. So I
Like
think.
go ahead.
Oh,
Go ahead.
well,
Sorry.
I think that that's a really good question. I think that human rights is a very interesting way to put it. Usually, it's about morals themselves,
Correct.
and I'm trying to think if like rights actually exist or if they are just granted. And in that case, if they're granted, it's much harder to know whether or not everyone has them. But I do think that we all have like what I want. The outcome that I want for all people is freedom and well-being, and so that's what I would want. So that's if you would consider that to be like leading towards human rights, then that would probably be it.
Correct, but why inherently does it profit you to people that have human rights that do not agree with you or profit you nothing?
Oh, it profits.
That's more or less the real question.
It profits me because then they can afford me the same rights. If they don't want to give me those rights, then I don't want to give them those rights. Does that make sense?
Correct. So, okay, I just want to make sure. Sorry, because some people will be like, "Oh, it's because we just should." But no, you've answered the question of if they don't want to give me those same rights, I'm not going to give them the same rights, which that's okay. That's
Well,
okay.
and it can be logically necessary as well. Like, for example, as the host mentioned, we all have ends that we want to achieve. And the ultimate end that anybody would ever want to achieve is like to flourish. But in order to flourish, we have to have freedom and well-being. But if I'm going to have freedom and well-being to flourish, then that means that other people not interfere with my well-being. But if other people ought not interfere, well, then I'm just going to claim that as a right. But if I'm going to stay logically consistent and not self-contradictory and break the law of non-contradiction, then I have to be able to look at like situations outside of myself to be rational. Thus, I'd have to extend this freedom and well-being to other people that I ought not interfere with their freedom and well-being to flourish. And as soon as I say, go to, let's say I go to, say, steal from, say, Elon Musk, right? And my family is starving. Well, stealing from him doesn't necessarily infringe upon freedom and well-being, his freedom and well-being, right? Now, if I'm not
well, it does. But I mean, like, let's just tell it how it is. No. I'm saying
How
what about
does
in
it
the opposite
infringe upon
direction?
freedom
Though?
and well-being by stealing from Elon Musk?
Well, it's very simple. You're stealing from someone else in a completely moral world. No stealing would happen.
Are they less free? Are they less free
for
in
stealing.
a completely moral world? There'd be no property at all. Are they less? Is he less free because he has something that's taken from him, and does he have less
that he'll
well-being?
never notice was missing?
Nothing noticed was missing. Yeah, because you're inherently violating his right to property, which is a right given to us by God and no other.
Wait,
if there was no God, then no one would have the right to
show that?
property.
Hold on. You just breezed into that. How can you show us that property is a right and it's given by God?
Okay, so number one, in order to obtain actual resources, albeit food, in a larger quantity than just hunter-gatherer societies, you need to, one, own land or own property enough to build crops. No one's going to, plant crops and grow them on
What do you mean
on
by
land that they don't own. It makes no sense.
What do you mean by own land?
Well, in order for you to actually specify what land belongs to you, that way you can sustentate your family, the whole village or whatever you were talking about here, there has to be borders of your land.
Why does it
in
have
order
to be? Is it communal land? Why can't it be communal land?
Because we've seen time again, unless you are in a tribe, unless we live in a tribalistic society, many people aren't going to work in the best interests of random strangers they don't know. It's usually just based off race. So yeah, I'm all for just having a racial society based on
Interesting
tribe.
claim.
But
please
it
stop.
doesn't work in the
Hey,
grand scheme of things.
Fawcett. What happens here is that you make a huge claim and then you move fast so that we can't call you on it. Please stop doing that.
Yep.
We're having a calm, slow conversation. We're talking about every point that you bring up. Stop pivoting to new shit. I know what you're doing.
Yeah.
I have a feeling you're a fascist.
Well, and it is the case too when you invoke God, right? Then we can go and I'm Jewish, so we could just go and invoke Torah, where God gave lands to tribes of people, and then He commands them to take care of each other. For example, when you are harvesting your crops, to harvest the crop in its entirety, you have to leave a portion of it so that those that are less fortunate can go harvest from it. If you see one of your fellow Israelites doing something unsafe, you don't disrupt the work they're doing. You go and you build the safe conditions for them, right? And so these are what's being built in. No, like property rights are here.
Well, effectively there is, because the property is owned by the tribe itself. The Torah does not state that everyone, Gentile and Jew, can come into the place indiscriminately. That would make no sense. There'd be legitimately people coming, taking, and then never contributing.
It's owned by a collective.
So,
right. It's not owned by a person.
Yeah.
It's owned by a collective of people, right?
correct, but collectives need to have a...
Well, and hold on, as soon as you are taking, right? So if I was to go and to the host, right? And I don't know the host's living circumstances at all, but if I was to go drain their bank account, or let's say even taking the stealing from Elon Musk, if I was to go to Elon Musk and completely drain the account, taking more than I need, and I left him in a situation potentially
Destitute.
worse off than well that would be immoral, because that in fact does infringe upon both his freedom and well-being, right?
But the problem I'm having with that, though, is that why does Elon Musk have equal rights to you? If there is no God, then there would naturally be no equality amongst two
Because they
different
not have
individuals.
equal rights. Because they not have equal rights as far as allowing people to flourish, as we discuss, and not giving people believing that people ought have the freedom and well-being is self-contradictory to the worldview. Thus, he would be self-contradictory because he himself ultimately wants to flourish, and he believes that other people ought not interfere with his ability to flourish.
Yeah, people ought not to interfere with his ability to flourish.
Yep.
But again, because human beings are not inherently all equal, it doesn't matter what
do you
he
mean by that?
believes. If
What
he does
do you
not
mean
have
by that?
equality to the
What
next
do you
man
mean by
next to
that?
him, then
What do you mean by all human beings are not inherently all equal? What does that have to do with what Cyber just said?
if all humans are not inherently all equal, all humans are not inherently given all basic human rights. Some should
They
have
are.
lower than others.
They are, because of the law of non-contradiction. We just discussed this. The basic
There
need
is no
that
contradiction. There is no
basic need
contradiction.
that
If
all
there is no
humans-
God, if there is no
hold
God,
on, we discussed this
Go ahead.
already. The basic need that everybody needs is the ability to truly flourish, right?
Correct.
This isn't right, but and you agree, right? But in order to truly flourish,
Mhm.
you need freedom and well-being. This is required to truly flourish, and thus you ought not interfere, right? And you have a belief that you need to flourish, and I ought not interfere with your ability to flourish. But if you're going to say that, then you're claiming that as a right. But for you to be rational and non-contradictory to your own worldview, you also have to extend that to other people. So what this is saying is that there's
no
not
offense.
one.
It's non-contradictory to the non-contradiction rule to steal from people who are worse off than you or better than you, and then flourish yourself. You may say, what if someone
What?
steals from you? It's not non-contradictory. It is effectively, hey, what is best for me is what I'm looking for. That's how I flourish. If I have to flourish by pillaging, then that's okay. That's how I flourish.
That becomes non-contradictory, because in order for you to flourish, then other people ought not interfere with your ability to flourish.
People
right?
can interfere with my
Hold
people
on,
could-
listen. But in order to not be this is a view of yourself. You have a belief that you need to flourish, and you're also going to hold that in order for you to flourish, other people ought not interfere, which is why you're going to support laws that say, like, hey, let's not steal, let's not allow murder.
I'm going to support being effectively armed to the teeth, and if you want to try and take
Wait,
you
wait,
can,
interesting.
but
Are
you're
you
not
saying
going to
we
be able to
should-
do it.
Wait. So, yeah, and that's you being able to protect yourself, and you having the ability, right? Other people ought not interfere. If you need to defend yourself in self-defense, that perfectly fits within the framework, right? But you also believe that other people ought not interfere to go so much that you believe that you should be armed to do so, right? But likewise, are you going to advocate that we need to get rid of, like, theft laws?
If people, because again, we're talking in an atheist view here, if there is absolutely no God, again, then there is no cosmic thing telling you that all people are equal.
It's the law
It's
of
a non
non-contradiction.
sequitur.
I just
It has
told
nothing
you.
to do with what
It's
we're
the law of
talking about.
non-contradiction.
It's the law of
Mhm.
this here's the problem. You're placing this rule of non-contradiction
Mhm.
upon everything which this is predicated when humans are naturally humans are naturally
Do
contradictory.
you believe contradictions
We
can
go
exist
ahead
in
and we
reality?
say things that
Do
we
you
don't
believe
actually mean.
contradictions
It's ingrained
exist
in
in
human
reality?
nature. I'm sorry, come again?
Do you believe contradictions can exist in reality?
Yes, 100%. I can say I hate I can say I hate my wife but still be married to her. And
That's not a
provide for
That's
her.
not a
contradiction.
contradiction.
I can
That's not a
say
That's
contradiction.
not a contradiction.
I can
That's
say
not,
I'm a night
you're
owl but
using
then
like
get
a
up early in the
colloquial
morning.
term.
Like
You're
what?
not using this correctly. We're not talking about a contradiction as in like a hypocritical statement. We're talking about a logical contradiction, right?
Okay.
Is that right, Cyber?
I mean,
Correct.
sure.
Yeah, we're using it in like the philosophical sense, right? So it's going to be the proposition and both being presented.
So this is predicated on what I wouldn't want to have done to me, kind of like the golden rule, right?
Well, no, I think the golden rule is harmful. This has nothing to do with the golden rule.
Okay, then run it back one more time. So I cannot a human being is unable to contradict themselves, correct? That is something that you don't believe in this equation.
No, okay. So what all it is saying is, first of all, in philosophy, right? A proposition and its negation cannot exist, right? One of them, like, are you familiar with the classical laws of logic, the 3 classical laws of logic?
Break it down for me.
All right, so you have the law of identity, you have the law of excluded middle, and the law of non-contradiction, right? And then you get into like fuzzy logic and some other things. But these are the 3 classical laws of logic. All the law of non-contradiction, so law of identity just says that A equals A. Right?
Okay. Yes.
The law of excluded middle, or we'll go with law of non-contradiction first. Law of non-contradiction essentially says like 1 + 1 equals 2, but then I say again 1 + 1 equals 3. That's a contradictory statement. One of them's negating the other, right? Both be true. One of them can be true, but both of them cannot be true. That's impossible.
Yes. Okay.
Right? The law of non-contradiction does not include is like hypocrisy, and they have to be true P and not P. Just because you are you hate your wife, but you're still married, well, that's not contradictory. Because it could be the case, that could be an arranged marriage. This isn't contradictory. Now, if you're to say, I hate my wife, but I love my wife, that's the contradictory statement. Only
Or
one of
not-
those
It would
can
actually
be
be
true,
like,
not
I hate
both.
my wife, but I don't hate my wife. It would actually be the technical
Yeah,
way you
yeah.
have to say it, I think.
Okay.
Correct.
So when it comes to non-contradiction, within yourselves, like you can lie to me, but not to yourself, right? I've heard that 1,000 times before. The human being is incapable of lying to themselves. They can 100% lie to others. If you have the ability to secure your property and secure your own flourishing, then would it be advantageous for you to fight for the flourishing of others when it profits you nothing?
Because in the world view, you're whole other people ought not interfere with your well-being. So there's a few parts to this, right? This is what's really important, right? We're going to talk about rationality. And rationality is just being able to like stay logically consistent, right? Okay. And so in order to stay logically consistent, you're going to have like self-respect. Respect is just a value that you place on yourself, right? But in order to have a rational value of self-respect, you have to be able to not only look at yourself, but you have to be able to look at like situations outside of yourself and correctly judge and place a value on those. If you can't do that, then you're irrational. When you try to hold self-respect to yourself, you're just irrational. You're incapable of doing it.
So here's the problem,
Well,
though.
let me finish.
You're comparing 2 unlike individuals. Like to myself, right? If we were just going to use myself for examples,
They're both
any
human
one of a
beings.
lower socioeconomic status.
No,
not
they're
equal
both
to me.
human beings.
So
You don't
thus
need to
we
bring
know
this
this is a
shit into this.
contradiction.
What are you talking about? It has nothing to do with it. This is all non sequitur shit.
Yeah. This is just talking about, right? So when we're evaluating things, this is going to go back to what we said before.
Okay.
Part of this evaluation is going to be you
Okay.
want to flourish, right? That's
Yes, I want to
ends.
flourish. Yes.
Everybody's ends is to flourish. And in order to flourish, you need two pillars, freedom and well-being, in order to flourish, right? In order for you to flourish, you're also going to hold nobody ought to interfere with your ability to flourish. Right?
No,
they
I
can
would
do-
just hold. I need to be prepared to defend these two things of which I
Right,
hold near
which,
and dear.
which is part of that.
It's
Yeah.
That's
regardless
part
of
it.
whether I care about any other
Defense-
people.
Yeah, that's
if I
part
have the
of it.
ability to
That's
defend it,
part
then I
of-
don't care.
Part of the ability to not be interfered with is you being able to defend yourself. That's part of it, right? That's all of
Yeah.
it.
That's like the
we're
only
not
part
saying
of
that
this.
no one's going to
No.
that no one's going to break this contract, or that you have to expect that they don't. We're not saying that it's any kind of a contract. We're saying that what this is basically like a step take that is logically consistent. That I want to be free, and therefore others should be free, so that they don't infringe on me, I don't infringe on them. That's as simple as it is.
No, it's called human selfishness. I want to be free, and anyone who is above me as well. Why would I
What do
have
you
to
mean
care
above
for
you?
those lower
What does
than
that
me
mean
if
by
they
above
don't
you?
have the?
Hold on, you just said something crazy. What do you
Yep.
mean above you?
What do you mean? What do you mean above me? Yes, people who have more money, more status, more political willpower.
What is that? Why
so
are
on
they
and so
above
forth.
you? What do you mean by above you? They're better humans?
If they again,
We're talking
if
about
they
human
have
rights.
more money than you,
We're
if,
talking
hold
human
on, hold on.
rights.
If they have more money than you, if they have more land than you, if they have more political alliances than you, naturally these people are going to have more rights that you are not afforded. So thus these people are not
Yeah,
equal
they're
to me.
wrong. Yeah, they're just wrong. If the more rights they have are infringing upon other people's freedom and well-being, then morally they're wrong. Because
But-
they're again, in their worldview, nobody ought to fear with their ability to continue their flourishing, right? But they're then going to use the same right that they hold to go infringe upon other people's freedom and well-being. It's just a self-contradictory view, which
It's not
makes it
self-contradictory.
morally
Again,
you're-
wrong.
It's
Part of
only
the problem-
self-contradictory
no.
if you see your fellow individual humans as your equals.
You have
when
a
you don't
problem
see them
here.
as your
You have a
equals and they
problem
have
here.
nothing to show that they're your equal,
Fawcett,
it makes no sense.
Fawcett. The
Go
words
on.
human rights have two words to that phrase, right? Human and right. All you need to do is show that humans deserve rights. That's all we're talking about.
Correct. But when someone's
Fawcett,
not a
I'm not
human
done
in my
yet.
eyes or in the
Right.
government's eyes,
You're
we
a
don't
fucking
afford them those same rights.
fascist. I'm not listening to you. To
This
say that someone is not a
fascist is
human,
straight.
for someone to say is not a human in your eyes, it's just fascism.
That is, and yeah, and I was just gonna like give him like reductio, because he made the claim quite a few times that like not only himself but people who are above him. So is in his worldview that like that Hitler was doing a moral thing, because that's what his worldview
It entails
holds.
that, yeah.
Is that entails that Hitler was doing the moral thing, whereas under this worldview, my worldview, I don't know what your worldview is, but under my worldview, Hitler was morally wrong because he was infringing upon 6 million plus people freedom and well-being, and thus he's wrong.
Yeah, the problem that he was having, right, is that he's looking at this through the actual like through the lens of right now, and saying like, well, things are this way, and if they're going to be this way, then how can you argue against them? And it's like, well, I don't want them to be this way. So I think that problem is that if you assume that capitalism is good and that people having more money and the ability to do more things is actually good, then yes, then you say people should have different rights. That's not what I assume. That assumption is nowhere in the way that you have to determine what human rights are. I think human rights can be found without talking about property and capital. It's just fucking stupid.
Yep. Guys, thanks for having me up. I'm gonna hop down.
Thanks,
I'm gonna give
Cyber.
you a follow.
Oh, thanks so much. It was great having you up. Yeah, I could tell. I was like, yeah, Cyber's probably going to have a better take on this than I kind of know that argument about the freedom and well-being. It's a little bit harder for me to run because I'm not, like, I would not call it objective. I'm not sure that I'm sold that it's objective. I understand the idea that it's essentially like, this is an objective system that I can look to, which I do think is, oh, thank you, Tahir, for the Go Populars and the gold boxing gloves. but like, I I don't know. It's very difficult. Whoa, the car's here. Hold on, I might have to go because I don't think that my think they should be here yet, and they might need to talk to me. Think fuck, I have empathy. Yeah. If caller, let's see, I missed a lot of YouTube chat. Sorry, everyone. I hope that wasn't too distressing. I tried to watch out for anything that was too weird. They have a very weird profile. They're very obviously just like a right-wing fascist troll. But they were very engaging. They were like, seemed like they were listening. But I just won't let somebody say things like that. You know, I don't see some people as human. Yeah, earlier he said a thing about like humans not being equal. He said that, and we got to it again. All he had to do, by the way, was be quiet because I was going to explain his problem was his view is through capitalism. If he takes away the presupposition that this shit is good, and he starts to realize that it's not, and it's like, or just neutral, just make it neutral, doesn't matter. It's not part of the equation. It's only there if you have to start getting into like, well, how do we determine who has what? It's like, it's just do it communally. There's also a really great paper. There was a Nobel Prize. The first, there's a paper by Elinor Ostrom, 2009, won the Nobel Prize in Economic Sciences for showing how communities can successfully self-govern common resources like forests and fisheries through effective rules rather than relying solely on privatization or state control. She developed principles for successful commons management, earning her recognition for analysis of economic governance and debunking the inevitability of the tragedy, as in the tragedy of commons. I remember when I heard about this, how amazing this like really opened my mind up to like how we can, you know, take care of things, because everyone talks about the tragedy of the commons, but they don't look into how it actually occurred. The tragedy is that the privatization happened. Everyone should have freedom to do what exactly? Yeah, that is a very that's part of why I don't know that it's like such a great argument, because freedom is such a very, and well-being is also like a very nebulous term. It's a very like, we kind of already agreed on some aspect of it. Yep, can't think of outside of hierarchical systems. Exactly. He talks about things being above him. They all think they're Senator Armstrong. Having more money, land, and influence should not afford you more rights. Agreed, 100%. It does afford you more rights, and that's always going to be the case in reality, but those legal property rights are fully distinct rights. I agree. And I think that it doesn't have to always be that case, but that might be for me. If caller wanted to argue about which rights do qualify as human rights, that's a valid discussion to have. Saying that some people are lesser and you shouldn't. Yep, I agree. We had to do a study on this. That's literally just how every community worked. I know, right? But it's like everybody thinks that the tragedy of the commons is a thing, and that like the reason that the commons became less common is because they couldn't take care of them or something. And so the benevolent business owners had to come in and you know, take care of the grounds and gradually take all of them and not give us any of it. Yeah, Ian's take on objective morality is convincing. It's essentially what Cyber was saying, right? But Ian's like really, really good at arguing it and like making it clear that it's like a logical system. I don't think it should be the case that owning more gives you more rights, but realistically, until human brains work differently, it'll be the case. I don't know. I don't know if I agree with that either. Like you're kind of saying that we are programmed in some way, that we are predetermined to believe this in some way, but I'm not sure. I think that first step is disconnecting from this religion, getting it out of our daily lives, getting Christianity away from us so that people stop believing nonsensical things. And then they can stop like presupposing that they should worship authority and hierarchy. And then we can start to dismantle that. It's going to take a long time. I'm gonna go see. Yep, it all stems from the patriarchy. I agree. What it boils down to is that to deny agency is contradictory. Yep, that's exactly it, egg rolls. That's the problem. It's a logical issue in the system itself. It's not. This is another thing that the last guys had trouble with was they were kind of saying these things about like, well, if this person does this and this person does that, but it's like it's just part of the system. It doesn't matter what people do. It either aligns with the system or it doesn't. Okay, I appreciate everyone coming by and hanging out. It's been really fun. I'm gonna go. Today was kind of a bust. I love seeing you all, but it wasn't. We didn't get a lot of guests.
All the mods that I use. No, I don't have a tutorial.